You know, I was an Assassin's Creed fan. I was actually a really, really big fan of Assassin's Creed. But that was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe. I've grown a lot since then. There's some things about the franchise that I still really like, and those things are really more like concepts other than things that are actually in the games. This whole deal of the Brotherhood, of this hidden group of people that spans all over the globe. You ever stop to notice how there's a Brotherhood in every single country? And I like that. I like that. There's the assassins who are the good guys, quote unquote, and the Templars, who are much the same, but they're evil, I guess. So I like that, and I like how they're basically ninjas. They wear hoods. The hoods I always loved. I love the hoods. When I was a kid, I used to just wear hoodies just because of Assassin's Creed, because I wanted to feel cool. And I was always like, they have to have a hood. If they don't have a hood, what's the point? That's the assassin thing. All the assassins have to wear a hood. What's the point of making a game of some random person who isn't an assassin and doesn't wear a hood and then call it Assassin's Creed? Whatever. That's basically what we had for a really long time. I mean, so yeah, we now have Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's a really weird thing because I don't want to say it's looking good. I have high hopes, I guess, because I'm kind of like that. I'm a fool because it looks cool. I have a little bit of hope for this game. And it's really tricky to talk about this and talk about having a hope for a game that is, made by Ubisoft. They announce a game, they don't even post any gameplay, but there's already pre-orders and DLC and deluxe editions for $500 billion or whatever. So it's really hard to talk about the AC franchise like that. It's a weird thing. But unfortunately, there's some games that they made that I really care about. They really made an impact on me. For example, Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is a franchise that, even though I don't love it like a religion anymore, like I did when I was a kid, it still made an impact on me. I still love some of the games to this day, some of the characters. Assassin's Creed 3, it was the first game that I actually played on the franchise, and I love the game. And still to this day, none of the AC games are like a game that I would put on my top 10 favorite games, but the impact that they had on me and my creative life is huge. There's no denying that. That's not something that I can just remove from my history. So I do still have a connection with Assassin's Creed, even though the franchise went some places that I really didn't want it to. I've probably bought every single Assassin's Creed game other than the first one. I actually never played the first one. I played every other game, but I didn't play the first one. And I haven't played Mirage because even though I make a point of playing every single one of the games, Mirage just didn't catch. I'm kind of procrastinating on it. I'm gonna play it eventually when there's a good deal or something. The parkour is a whole thing. We had something really special in Unity. Unity, for me, I had the fortune of not having any bugs when I first played Assassin's Creed Unity. This is really weird because everyone else had, but when I played it, there were no bugs. So for me, that game was perfection. It was really good. The parkour, the best parkour AC ever had. It was amazing. Just running through the city. I remember an interview where one of the game directors said that they didn't add the horses to the game just so we could focus on the traversal using parkour. At the time, I was like, oh, I like horses. Why? But then I understood because the parkour was the best part about it. And that's the thing, because parkour in the Assassin's Creed franchise peaked in Unity, and then they just started making it worse for some reason. I don't know why. In Syndicate, it was pretty much very similar, but they removed the jump button, which why would you do that? And they removed the parkour entirely because you just had a grappling hook and you could fly around the city that way. There was no need to fucking climb buildings or anything like that. So yeah, and after that we had Origins. and Odyssey, which you're not even, you're just a random person. Assassins didn't even exist. The parkour was worse, and then Valhalla, basically no parkour at all because there's barely any buildings to climb. I mean, you can climb some to do the thing, the Assassin's Creed thing, and that's that. But it didn't really do a lot of parkour in like cities because there were barely any cities. For some reason, they just made the game, and this applies to the last 3 games as well: Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla. The game is just nature, and for me, I always thought that Assassin's Creed worked best when you were, you know, in a city. The game has to be set on a city so you can do parkour and assassinate people. One of the best things about the franchise is being able to run around in the rooftops, being like, you know, like a ninja and stuff. And that's not a thing in these games because Assassin's Creed started losing its identity. The whole thing that I said that I love about it, the hoods, the ninjas, the brotherhood, that's not a thing. That's basically not a thing. The last 3 games of the franchise, that was not a thing. They basically just did something else. They just made a generic fucking RPG game. I remember watching an interview with a guy with like one of the big game director people, and the guy said that he really wanted AC to be an RPG, a role-playing game, fucking. And I'm like, why? That's not the point. It's a stealth game. He wanted a huge focus on combat and stealth. No, what stealth? There's no stealth. That's not a thing anymore. They got rid of stealth, the biggest thing in Assassin's Creed. They just got rid of it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Assassin's Creed is not an RPG. It's an action game. It's none of the games were RPGs until the point that one guy came in and said, you know, I think Assassin's Creed should be an RPG. And like, I know there's people that like the RPG aspect of the modern games. That's fine. You're free to like whatever you want, but I don't. That's fine in other games, but Assassin's Creed was never about that. It's an historical fucking game. It's about real history. It's not about choosing the history of the game, having a story that progresses like that, you know, of having choices and stuff and dialogue choices or whatever. Why did they think it's about real history? That's the fun of Assassin's Creed. You witness real life events through this vision. You see real life things happening, but with the twist that some things are changed because the assassins were there the whole time. That's the fun of Assassin's Creed. That's one of the big things that got me so involved with the series. So they got rid of all that. It's just that it's an RPG. There's no cutscenes. That's another thing for me. There's no cutscenes. The cutscenes are those real-time things where the characters just make weird expressions and barely move like a real person, which is the thing you see in most RPGs like The Witcher and Dragon Age and whatever, those games that have you pick dialogue choices and whatever, which I hate. I really hate that because Assassin's Creed always had cutscenes. It had, you know, characters acting and being real people. That was one of the best things of the earlier games, and they got rid of it. They just made this ugly ass cutscenes, and I don't know why. I don't know, to save time, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea. So yeah, Assassin's Creed just lost its identity. Like a year ago, I would say that it was losing its identity, but it lost its identity. It's completely lost. So I'm saying all of this to reach the point where I'm now watching the trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows and having a little bit of hope. Because for the first time since Assassin's Creed Syndicate in 2015, we're actually playing as an assassin from the Brotherhood. You're not a hidden one, you're not a random person, you're not a Viking, you're not a fucking Greek that has no connection to assassins at all. You are an assassin. And you're also the other guy. No disrespect. I mean, he's a real person, right? That's another thing. For some reason, the other main character, playable main character, is Yasuke, who was a real person. And that's not a thing in Assassin's Creed. There were no games where you played as an actual real person. You encountered a lot of real people in the games. That was another fun thing to do, but you never played as them. But now you're playing as Yasuke. You know, he has many animes about him and manga. And that's cool and all, but I find it weird that you're playing as a real person. It's a bit bit odd for me. But I mean, I guess it's cool. But apparently he's not even part of the Brotherhood, so he's carrying on the tradition from the last games where, you know, you're just a regular person who's not an assassin. But at least we have Naui, who I don't think it's a real person. I'm not sure about that. If she is, I'm sorry. I don't know. She is the closest thing we've had in many years to traditional Assassin's Creed. Stealth, hoods, being an assassin, the hidden blade, being worn right, and parkour. And the parkour looks like it's actually improved. It looks better than it was. And I don't know, because I haven't really seen much of it. They haven't showed a lot of the parkour, but what they showed looked very promising. So I have high hopes, and I don't want to be disappointed again. I know Ubisoft is you know, is a big thing, but I still like Assassin's Creed. Unfortunately, I want to be free of the spades. But yeah, they're still making them. As long as they're making them, I'm still gonna play them. They have games that I play. They have Mario plus Rabbids, which for me, the second one is one of the best games ever made, and I'm not even kidding. So yeah, there's still some people who make art in there. There's some passionate game developers who are making something, and that's who I want to support. So yes, the current state of Assassin's Creed is weird. I have a little bit of hope with Shadows, but we will only see when the game comes out. So yeah.